This is Voice of Korea.
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 Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
We now present a mixed chorus. 소나스 주연으로 김일수.
contacted Kim Jong-un, first secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and supreme commander of the Korean People's Army, gave field guidance to the construction site of the Pyongyang Baby Home and Orphanage. He was accompanied by Han Kwang-sang and Ma Won-chung. Going around different places of the construction site, Kim Jong-un gave important instructions on construction. He said the Pyongyang Baby Home and Orphanage are being built at an excellent place and stressed the need to build them into another model structures of hero of the Workers' Party, fully representing the love of the party for the rising generations and future. He instructed that the bedrooms and all other elements should be built on the house level, outdoor and indoor wading pools and amusement halls built in a peculiar way, and the welfare facilities as well as the rooms of nurses and kindergartners built well. He noted that as the children of the baby home and orphanage are nursery and kindergarten children, it is necessary to make desks, chairs, and beds according to their ages and mentalities, and that the party would send all furniture and fixtures and utensils. Saying the surroundings of the Pyongyang Baby Home and Orphanage should be rezoned well, he instructed that an amusing park should be built according to the sentiments of children so that they can frolic to their heart's content, and many trees of fruit species planted. Kim Jong-un said the party is going to build the Pyongyang Baby Home and Orphanage as standard one, so as to build up the baby homes and orphanages in all provinces well, with them as models. He underscored the need to take warm care of the orphans and helpless old people, as well as handicapped people, and said that this should be a social tradition of the large family of the whole country. Kim Jong-un expressed the belief that the soldier builders of Unit 267 of the Korean People's Army were to complete the construction of the Pyongyang Baby Home and Orphanage until the anniversary of the party founding this year, and thus support the intention of the party Central Committee with practice.
Respected Kim Jong-un received a message of greetings from Zhirinovsky, chairman of the Liberal Democratic Party of Russia, on the 19th. The message extended sincere congratulations to Kim Jong-un on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-il's start of work at the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. It said Kim Jong-il performed the great exploits in further developing the Juche idea and Sungun idea, a theoretical basis for the building of Korean-style socialism. The message wished Kim Jong-un a new success on the road for the building of a prosperous nation and the unification of Korea and the Korean people's happiness and prosperity. It hoped that the traditional and friendly relations between the peoples of Russia and the DPRK would be strengthened and developed.
The new Yugoslav Communist Party of Serbia blogged the gist of the famous work of respected Kim Jong-un. The great Kim Il-sung is the eternal leader of our party and our people, on the 19th.
The committee for remembering the great leader Kim Il-sung was formed in Russia on the 20th, the Angolan Committee for remembering President Kim Il-sung on the 17th, and the Mongolian Committee for remembering President Kim Il-sung on the 19th. The committees decided to hold various political and cultural events, including round-table talk and film show in praise of the immortal exploits of the great leader President Kim Il-sung, who made a great contribution to the cause of global independence on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of his demise.
Memorial meetings, seminars, round-table talks, reading sessions, lectures, book and photo exhibitions and film shows took place in Italy, Brazil, Ethiopia, the Democratic Congo, Guinea, Mexico, Romania, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Vietnam, Algeria, Austria, and Angola between the 5th and the 17th on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the demise of the great leader President Kim Il-sung and the 50th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-il's start of work at the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. Speakers at the events praised the undying achievements of the great Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and stressed that their exploits were brilliantly carried forward and developed by leader Kim Jong-un. Messages of greetings to respected Kim Jong-un were adopted at the events held in the Democratic Congo and Austria.
Russian and Indonesian parties praised the great leader Kim Jong-il for his exploits in party building and leadership. The All-Union Bolshevik Communist Party of Russia posted an article on its website on the 15th, and the Indonesian Diversity Party dedicated an article to the newspaper Republika. The article said the extraordinary exploit performed by leader Kim Jong-il in the course of party building adapts to build the Workers' Party of Korea virtually into the public commander Kim Il-sung and the genuine mother party serving the people. His achievements will shine forever along with the ever victorious Workers' Party of Korea, the article stressed.
South Korean people of different sections highly praise the history of victory of the Workers' Party of Korea. Kim Il-sung, member of the Taeyang Society, chairman of the Sapir Society, and other people of different sections at meetings, seminars, and other events, praised that the history of victory of the Workers' Party of Korea is the history of President Kim Il-sung and General Kim Jong-il, the great leaders, the first of their kind in 5,000-year-long history of the nation. Yonhap News, KBS, and other news agencies and broadcasts of South Korea said, through the amendment of the party rules and the constitution, the DPRK legalized the immortal exploits of the great Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and formulated the Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism as the guiding idea and the modeling of the whole society on Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism as the supreme program of the party. The magazine Min, internet newspapers, and other mass media of South Korea stressed that the future of the Workers' Party of Korea is bright, and the dawn of a powerful socialist country and the new dawn of reunification will surely come thanks to the supreme leader Kim Jong-un.
Foreign organizations recently blogged articles on their website on the occasion of the 14th anniversary of the historic June the 15th Inter-Korean Joint Declaration. The Russian Rostov Association for the Study of Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, the Russian Group for Solidarity with the DPRK, and the Anti-Globalization Movement of Russia give accounts of the validity and vitality of the June the 15th Joint Declaration, along with the photographs of the great Kim Jong-il. The Brazilian Committee for Solidarity with the DPRK and the Society for the Promotion of the Relations between Austria and the DPRK stressed that the June the 15th Inter-Korean Joint Declaration is an immortal program for unity and reunification of the Korean nation.
The Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea sent a message of greetings to the Central Committee of the Mozambique Liberation Front Party and all the members of the party on the 24th on the occasion of the 52nd anniversary of the party founding. The message expressed the belief that the long-standing excellent relations of friendship and cooperation between the two parties would continue to develop on good terms in the future too. It wished the Mozambique Liberation Front Party a greater success in its activities to strengthen the party and achieve the prosperity of the country.
Agricultural workers and members of the Union of Agricultural Workers of Korea met at the education yard of the House of Class Education in Susan-li, Gangsa District, Nangka City on Tuesday to hold a revenge-taking meeting on the occasion of the June the 25th day of struggle against U.S. imperialism. Present there were officials of the Union, officials concerned, and agricultural workers in Gangsa District. The reporter and speaker said the U.S. imperialists who ignited a war of aggression to swarm off the DPRK in its cradle in June 1950 cruelly destroyed everything in Korea and committed a nefarious murder everywhere they went. They exposed that during the temporary strategic retreat, the U.S. imperialists killed more than 35,000 patriots and innocent people in Kimsan County, which are equivalent to a quarter of the population of the county, and brutally massacred over 11,600 people in Gangsa District. We can never forget the immoral crimes of the U.S. imperialists who plunged the peaceful land of Korea into sea of blood and reduced towns and villages to ashes, even if the years go by and centuries change, but make them pay dearly for the blood shed by Koreans without fail, they stress.
An endless stream of people visit the National House of Class Education in Pyongyang on the occasion of the June 25th day of struggle against U.S. imperialism. This month, tens of thousands service personnel of the People's Army, working people of both sections, and school youth and children visited it with a will to settle accounts with the heinous crimes of the U.S. imperialists, the sworn enemy of the Korean people. The number of the visitors continues to increase.
The members of the home visiting group of students of Korean high schools in Japan visited the Shincheon Museum in South Hwanghae province and bitterly denounced the crimes committed by the U.S. imperialists. The members, including Shun Ok and Song Pui-jin, said that in Shincheon, a historic place, the murderous atrocities committed by the U.S. imperialist aggressors during the strategic temporary retreats of the Fatherland Liberation War reminded that the U.S. imperialists are the sworn enemy of the Korean nation. They said they will settle accounts with the crimes of the U.S. imperialists thousandfold and return blood for blood. Today, too, the U.S. imperialists are occupying half of the territory of Korea and running wild to light a future war of aggression. But our victory is assured under leadership of the most brilliant commander, respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, this stressed.
Suu Kyi, their followers and visited DPRK, visited Panmunjom and vehemently denounced the U.S. imperialists for their anti-DPRK movements. The Deputy Director General of the International Institute of the Suu Kyi Idea and concurrently Chairman of the Latin American Institute of the Suu Kyi Idea, the head of the delegation of the Mongolian Association for the Study of Suu Kyi Idea, Sun Tzu Idea, the head of the delegation of the Russian Association for the Study of the Suu Kyi Idea, the chairman of the South African Group for the Study of Kim Il-sung Kim Jong-ilism, and the delegate of the Irish Group for the Study of the Suu Kyi Idea, took from the force where the ceasefire talks were held and armistice agreement was signed, and criticized that the United States occupied South Korea and divided the Korean nation for more than half a century. The purpose of the United States is to perpetuate the U.S. troops' occupation of South Korea, keep Korea divided forever, and trigger off another Korean war for world domination, he said, and stressed that Korea cannot be reunified without driving the U.S. forces out of South Korea.
A memorandum of understanding for plan of English education and teachers a short course in the DPRK was signed in Pyongyang on the 25th. Present at the signing ceremony on the Korean side were officials of educational institutions and teachers of universities, foreign languages schools, and secondary schools. And on the opposite side, the director of the Central Culture of Britain invited British teachers staying in Korea and the ambassador extraordinary plenipotentiary of the United Kingdom to the DPRK and its embassy members.
The spokesman for the DPRK Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement on the 25th as regards the enemy's despicable movements to hurt the dignity of the supreme leadership of the DPRK, which are conducted at a viciously criminal stage beyond tolerance limits. The statement said, the international community is astonished at the shuddering fact that the trailer of a film based on a scenario of insulting and assassinating our supreme headquarters is openly circulated in broad daylight in the United States, the kingdom and hangout of international terrorism. The United States is impotently instigating a ruffian filmmaker to disclose their attempt to remove our supreme headquarters. Its reckless provocative frenzy triggers up burning hatred and indignation of the Korean army and people. Such acts of the United States are a reflection of their fear before the bright and rosy future of our people led by the fearlessly great man, and nothing but the last kick in absurd dream. The disclosure of their attempt to hurt our supreme headquarters through a film is unpardonable, as it is the most undisguised terrorist act, an act of war to root out the mental pillar of our army and people and get rid of our system. Today, the dignified and proud life of the Korean people, the great changes in Korea, and all things precious in the beautiful future when the people's dreams and ideas will come true are unthinkable even a moment apart from our supreme headquarters. That is why the Korean army and people consider the supreme headquarters to be more precious than their lives. It is a firm determination and disposition of the Korean army and people to mercilessly destroy whoever insults and slanders our supreme headquarters even a little and challenges it. those who have recently insulted and slandered our Supreme headquarters and committed hostilities against the DPRK will face a strong punishment according to the law wherever they may be in the world. If the U.S. administration connives at and patronizes the production of the films, resolute and merciless countermeasures will be taken, the statement stressed. The Parliamentary Mission of the Korean People's Army released a detailed report on the 25th under the title, "The United States Can Never Escape from the Responsibility for Putting the Korean Peninsula in a Constant Crisis of War." The report said the tense situation of the Korean Peninsula is as good as dead on June 25th, 64 years ago, and has been put in an incomparably grave phase of war in view of its scale, content, and intensity. Nowhere on the earth in the long human history can be found such a place as the Korean Peninsula, where an abnormal and unstable situation, neither peace nor war, has been lasting for more than half a century, it noted. The report under the subtitles "Moves to Systematically Destroy the Armistice Agreement," records of crimes committed in imposing nuclear disasters upon the Korean nation, and invariable truth shown by history of DPRK-US confrontation, exposed in detail the criminal moves of the sworn enemy US imperialists who have put the Korean Peninsula in a constant crisis of war and imposed untold misfortunes and sufferings upon the Korean nation.
The spokesman for the Committee for the Peaceful Reunification of Korea gave a statement to media on Tuesday concerning the confrontation moves of the South Korean puppets against the DPRK, which are becoming more jealous on the occasion of June the 26th. The statement said, "The South Korean puppets are kicking the frenzy of pro-US sycophancy and confrontation with a fellow countrymen, invading mercenaries of the United States and its satellites who participated in the past Korean War, and even South Korean youth and children talking about function for defense of the country, invitation of war participants, and commemorations of battles. They, together with the United States, also raise a massive frenzy with different kinds of war gambles, including joint exercises for contingency of the North and joint combat exercise of Marines. History and facts clearly show that the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets are the provocateurs of the June the 25th War and disturbers of peace and stability of the Korean Peninsula and the region. But they insist that the June the 21st War is the North's invasion of the South and persisting in anti-DPRK confrontation and war moves under the preposterous pretext of the nuclear and missile threats of the North. It is a shameless mockery of justice and historical facts, an intolerable provocation and challenge to the DPRK. With no desperate efforts, can the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets conceal their true colors as aggressors and provocateurs? They can get nothing but a disgraceful defeat from the confrontation moves against the DPRK, the statement stressed.
The Institute of National Reunification in the DPRK made public an indictment on the 24th under the title, "The U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets, the provocateurs of the Korean War and disturbers of peace of the Korean Peninsula." The indictment disclosed that the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets were the provocateurs of the Korean War, and today are aggressors running wild to light the fields of a war against the North, as well as disturbers of peace under the subtitles, U.S. imperialist occupation of South Korea and preparations for Korean War, provocation of the Korean War as the most barbarous and destructive crime, and new war moves for invasion of the North.
The Zhongnan Regional Association and the Beijing City branch of the General Association of Koreans in China and the Zhongnan Regional Association of the Federation of Korean Youth in China released a joint statement on June the 25th in denunciation of the criminal atrocities of the provoker of the past Korean War, the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets.
The spokesman for the General Association of Koreans in the United States released a commentary on the 11th denouncing Park Geun-hye and the Klan for their dictatorial rule. The commentary said, after the June 4th local elections. President Hayes is working hard to amend the law on election subsidies and institute a law on abolishing the election of superintendents of education. Such hysteria and realistic leadership quickly discuss the use and dictatorship of Park Chung-hee in pursuit the commentary added.
The Daily Rodong Shinmun on Wednesday ran an editorial under the title, "Let us open the road of peace and independence reunification of the Korean Peninsula under the Venerable Sun." The editorial said, "The U.S. Imperial League, who roughly provoked a war 64 years ago, looking down upon the Korean army and people, suffered the most disgraceful defeat in history under downhill started beyond control. The historic victory in the Fatherland Liberation War was the brilliant victory of the great leader Kim Il-sung's original military idea until several battles. It was also the victory of patriotism, spirit of national defense, and indomitable fighting spirit of the Korean army and people who rose up to defend the precious motherland in response to the call of the leader. The entire Korean people in the north and the south and abroad should vigorously fight to frustrate the new war movies of the anti-reunification forces at home and abroad, and promote independent reunification, peace and prosperity in formed unity under the banner of Sun Gun," the editorial stressed. And that's the end of the news read by Cha Sung-young and Lee Hyun-sung. This is Voice of Korea. Share is a media covers Long live Generalissimo Kim Il-sung.
Historic radio dress that heralded victory. the U.S. imperialists instigated the Sunmanri clique of South Korea to trigger off the Korean War on June 25th to 39 or 1950. It was less than 2 years after the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was founded. Lecturer of the Chungsun Revolution Museum Jang Ok-yeol said,
조선전쟁은 서양 나라와 무수한 침략 전쟁으로 가르치고 파악해진 미제와의 대전.
The Korean War was a confrontation between a young country and the U.S. imperialists who became set and ferocious through a number of wars of aggression. And besides, it was true unbalanced war. It was not without reason that the news agencies and radios of many countries concluded a clear result of the war, believing in the breaking of the U.S. imperialists at the time. But the great leader Kim Il-sung ignored the mightiness of the U.S. imperialists. It was with conscience and will that the Koreans should teach a good lesson to the enemy who dared to force a war.
On the day the war broke out, Kim Il-sung called an emergency meeting of the cabinet and made a historic speech, "Let us wipe out the invaders by a decisive counteroffensive." The speech clearly represents the bravery of the brilliant commander. That day, Kim Il-sung issued an order to neutralize the enemy's invasion and wipe out the invaders with an immediate decisive counteroffensive. His order was a sentence of defeat on the U.S. imperialist aggressors and the manifestation of the will of the Korean people to put an end to the U.S. imperialist history of victory. The People's Army units formed powerful counteroffensive groups and instantly went over to counterattack. The enemy's daydream to invade Korea at random with a blitzkrieg broke up in smoke from the beginning. The first day of the war came to an end. Kim Il-sung, who had intensely commanded the front all day long, quietly sat at a desk deep at night without having a rest. It was at the desk that, until the previous day, he designed the plot for factories, rural villages, streets and houses to be built, and matured a plan to provide the people with a happier life. At the desk, he wrote the historic radio address that would rouse the Korean people to a just war. Jang Ok-yeol said,
1939, 1950년 6월 26일 위대한 수령님의 역사적인 경선 연설이 전파를 타고 온 세상에 울려 퍼졌습니다.
On June the 26th through to 39 or 1950, the historic radio address of the great Kim Il-sung was transmitted and waved all over the world. Dear fellow countrymen, dear brothers and sisters, officers, non-commissioned officers and men of our People's Army, guerrillas operating in the southern half of the Republic, on behalf of the government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, I make this appeal to you. In the historic radio address, he said, the history of mankind shows that the people that defies death and rises in the struggle for freedom and independence is always victorious. He declared that victory of the Korean people is certain, and the just struggle of the Korean people will triumph.
The radio address, "Go all out for victory in the war," he made that day, roused the entire Korean people to victory in the war, giving them great strength and courage. It was an inspiring banner and fighting program for the Korean people and service persons of the People's Army to stand out in a just war. In half of this country's radio address, more than 800,000 youth and students went out to the front, and the workers conducted a wartime campaign for increased production and all-people movement to transport war supplies to the front. Kim Il-sung presents a militant slogan, "Everything for victory in the war." He led the counter-offensive operations of the People's Army to victory, and at the same time ensured that all affairs of the heart and state in the rear were promptly reorganized into wartime systems. All the history of wars showed that the country facing a surprise attack of the enemy is bound to suffer a great loss with everything in confusion and is put in a disadvantageous situation for a certain period. But in Korea, under the wise leadership of the great leader Kim Il-sung, An immediate counterattack was mounted to the enemy without a slight confusion, despite the enemy's surprise general offensives. Heroic Korean people's army units advanced south, nursing the enemy troops in high spirits. The day of victory came 3 years later. In those days, the U.S. imperialists could not imagine that theirs is not so powerful a country as others thought to be, and furthermore, in the Korean War, the myth about the mightiness of U.S. imperialism would give way to a new myth about the mightiness of the Korean people, to the surprise of the world. You've been listening to an account under the title Historic Radio Address that heralded victory. This is Voice of Korea.
Series of female instrumental ensemble song dedicated to Marshal Kim Il-sung. is a self-national defense created in 1739 or 1930 during the Fatherland Liberation War.
Peace and enlightenment can hear your songs. Let us support our Supreme Commander, Iran.
English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and North Africa between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz and 11,635 kHz. For Southern Africa between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for Central and South Americas between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz, 13,760 kHz, and 15,180 kHz. And between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.